Our film is called The Deadline. It's a British crime film with thriller elements to it, and this is its synopsis.
The main character in the film, Carter, and 3 crew members, Ronnie, Charlie and George, carry out a heist on a big-time Brighton dealer called Narco, and go out the same night in celebration of their success on the heist. But then things take a turn for the worse as the dealer comes back to them looking for his money the following morning. Things then become complicated for the main character as the money has disappeared. The dealer has set each of them a deadline to get his money back to him. The heist members start slowly disappearing after they do not meet their deadlines. Carter then fears the worst as he is running out of time to find the dealer's money before his deadline expires.
The treatment for our film starts with this. A robbery has been planned by 4 acquaintances: Carter, George, Charlie and Ronnie. They are planning to steal £100,000 from Brighton's drug lord Narco. The heist goes perfectly, so they decide to celebrate at Carter's house. Before they planned the robbery, they didn't know each other very well. However, they feel much closer and have slightly bonded. After a crazy night out, the main protagonist, Carter, wakes up uncertain of the events that occurred the night before. But known to him, he's been drugged. He leaves to go to the shops when suddenly a bag is thrown on his head and he is shoved inside the back of a van. He's taken to one of Narco's warehouses. He's confronted about his recent loss of money. Narco knows that he was involved, so he gives him 48 hours to get his money back, or he'll risk death.
Carter decides to ring the crew members on his mobile to tell them what's happened. However, George doesn't answer. He then calls Charlie and arranges to meet up to try and sort out their problem. Finally, he calls Ronnie as he is opening his front door, but hears a ring behind him and turns around to see a fist hurtling towards him. There is a short fight resulting in Ronnie being knocked unconscious. During the fight, Ronnie mentions something about the money, so Carter sprints inside, only to discover the money is gone. Carter goes outside to check on Ronnie, but discovers that he is also gone. Ronnie wakes up tied to the same chair that Carter was earlier. We discover that he has his own deadline and is hit with a baseball bat by Narco, presumably killed. Charlie doesn't show up the next day and Carter can't get hold of him or George. He gets suspicious and decides that it must be either him,
Stop. Go. It's fine.
He gets suspicious and decides that it must be either one of the 2 who took the money. Unbeknown to him, Charlie has also a deadline of his own, which he hasn't met, resulting in the same fate as Ronnie. Carter focuses his search on George, but is also looking for Charlie.
Towards the end of the film, George's deadline is nearly up, so Narco is trying to find him. He tracks him down to a warehouse where he discovers George with the money. Narco draws his gun just as Carter bursts in with a baseball bat. They are caught in a standoff, as if Narco pulls the trigger he'll be hit by Carter, and if George tries to run he'll be shot. This situation then plays out with Narco shooting George and Carter smacking Narco with the bat. We then see Carter leaving the location, leaving it open to the audience's interpretation to what he does with the money.
Our main character is Carter. He's the protagonist, but is also an anti-hero. He's 19 years old. He's always been in trouble with the law since he was young. He's a strong, independent character, but prefers not to take the lead in situations. He is a bit of a follower of people. The name Carter pays homage to Michael Caine's character in the 1971 film Get Carter.
George is a false hero in the film. He starts off good and is part of the crew, however it's not until near the end of the film that it is revealed that it is him that stole the money. He is 18 and is the youngest of the crew. He resents this and lies to people, claiming to be much older than he is. This shows that he can easily lie to people and can't be trusted. Along with Charlie, it was his idea to commit the heist. He has also been in trouble with the law many times and has an older brother in prison. The name George pays homage to the gangster George Cornell. He was a rival of the Krays and was eventually killed by Ronnie Kray in 1966.
Charlie is 20 years old and is one of the 2 helpers in the narrative. His character can be compared most to Tom in Lock, Stock and 2 Smoking Barrels. He takes the lead in the planning of the heist and thinks of himself as smarter than the others. Although he is on the wrong side of the law, he has never been caught, giving him a slight arrogance. The name Charlie pays homage to the notorious criminal Charles Bronson and Michael Caine's character Charlie Croker in the 1969 film The Italian Job.
Similarly to Charlie, Ronnie is also 20 years old and a helper in the narrative. He is aggressive and is known to punch first and ask questions later. Similar to the others, he has also gotten in trouble with the law a few times. However, it is mainly due to assault and fights. Ronnie is one part of the Kree. We took inspiration for his name from one of the Kray twins, Ronnie. We chose to use his name as of using intertextuality and paying homage to the Krays.
The antagonist of our film is Narco. He's Brighton's most notorious drug dealer. He fancies himself the kingpin of the city. He's also very aggressive and has killed people before. The character's name pays homage to the TV series Narcos, which is about Pablo Escobar, who's one of the most notorious drug dealers ever. And this is appropriate as our character is also a drug dealer. The trailer for our film is heavily inspired by Guy Ritchie. It will open with the standoff scene at the end of the film, and then rewind to the heist. This is a very postmodern technique. The trailer will open with the voiceover by Carter at the beginning of the setting the scene and briefly outlining the plot. He will introduce the characters along with the freeze frames and similar ones to the ones seen in Lock, Stock trailer. The pace of the trailer will not change throughout, starting off fairly slow and then getting much faster pace nearer to the end, which will be similar to the film. It will have lots of quick cuts and action shots, so I mean punch and things like that. This will show the action throughout the film. There will be a range of different effects included, such as split screen shot, time remapping, and freeze frames. The trailer will end with the same shot it started with, just like the film.
The crew will wear normal clothes that people aged around 19 wear. For example, hoodies, t-shirts, jackets, jeans, and so on. Nothing too bright with colours and nothing that stands out massively. This is not totally stereotypical of traditional British crime films like Snatch or Lock, Stock. This is because we want to aim our film at a younger audience. So by having our characters wearing similar clothing to them, gives our target audience, it can make the character seem a more real representation. However, Narco will appear in dark coloured suits or a smart looking coat, as he is a drug dealer who has a disposable income, therefore he can afford to be better dressed. There will be certain props in the film, such as guns, baseball bats, a sports bag, money, and so on. However, there will also be a Guy Fawkes mask for the heist. These will also be worn within the old wooden chair scene.
As we are creating a film trailer, it will mean that we have to have many different locations. But as this is a British crime film, it means that conventionally we are limited to the city, as most British crime films are set there. However, we still want a fairly large variety of locations, like a warehouse, back street, houses, and possibly even bars/pubs, as these are key conventional locations of the British crime genre.
For our film, we've targeted a specific audience of 18 to 45, as our film would be rated 18. This is a typical audience member for our film. His name is Max, he's aged 19, he has a job in retail, a sales manager at HMV. So this means he has a semi-disposable income, so he can spend money on some things. He enjoys TVs and films, independent nor mainstream, he doesn't really mind. Especially British films, e.g. James Bond and Guy Ritchie films. He also likes to watch comedy, specifically British comedians, as he likes the sarcastic humour, which is also found in British crime films. He's also a regular user of social media like Twitter and YouTube, and his other hobbies include playing football or watching it, enjoys being with friends and going out to pubs or clubs with them.